So this year, I have a few things I want to do. One is I have a request for how we're going to actually view this. We were planning on doing a video initially, but we ended up just creating an audio file. So I'll try to remember to remind you, but I want to say at the very beginning, when we actually start the audio, if you wouldn't mind actually doing anything other than looking at the screen. If you would, for a second, close your eyes and disappear into this track that we've made for you of these multiple creatives. If you want to turn your camera around so we can see the natural landscape that you're in or the room that you're in or what have you, you can do that. And I'll let you know when we're going to start the track in just a second. You'll see me sharing my screen. This was a fascinating experiment of sorts, and just really grateful for the opportunity and really appreciate the tenacity of everybody in the youth group to keep showing up and working with each other and finding different ways to interact outside of this particular or within this particular medium. I have a few introductions for our group that I'd like to read. So I'm going to read some bios that we created in class. This is not in order of appearance on the recording, I'm afraid. This is just folks that contributed to the project. Bartholomew John Cake Pterodactyl Bott is an acclaimed writer, orator, and 2020 hair sculpting champion. His 14-year career as an author is exceeded only by his innate wisdom and boundless courage in the face of adversity. He is exactly the type of person to jump the ship only to return from the icy waters with new stories and writings to share. His newest work merges both science and existential inquiry and comprises the final segment of our project, read for you by the defamed writer MOsley WOtta. Tracy is a spiritual channeler and of the pre-industrial and industrial Western world. His current project, Bible Vibes, Drug Cats, was a top-tier finalist for the Upman Leadership Book Award. Also an inventor, his invention, Double Glove, has been the talk of the Metro LA area and is currently in distribution with Yeezus. Paxton Lotta is a veteran animal whisperer and author. Her capacity for animal husbandry is met with her fervent enthusiasm for civil and social rights. Natalie Blank is a 3-year Fishtrap alum, although it was not until her second year that she learned the art of river tackling. Her literary work is both honest and compelling, leading the listener into a world of confrontation and eventual death. Val Oregon Burns is originally from Idaho, an Idaho native. She has lived in Oregon for 15 years. Her small hometown has made a big impact on her work, which often speaks to the correlation between nature and our emotional bodies. Also, she is able to fly, literally. Jasper Childs was born with adult vocal cords, a condition often left untreated in the Western world. In a recent DNA test, Childs is the apparent long-lost cousin of Keats, Meryl Streep, Vladimir Putin, and Oprah Winfrey. He is a speed novelist by trade, though he moonlights as an audio engineer for Fishtrap youth programming. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get Jasper's file uploaded, but we will have that through Fishtrap. So he created an audio file as well. What we've created here was just sort of predicated on this concept of finding what is true, which is sort of the effort of every author, I suppose, everywhere. But right now, leaning into what is true for yourself seems to be more important than ever, and challenging though it is like necessary, courageous work. So without further ado, I'm going to screen share, which is your cue to stop looking at the screen. If you would like, close your eyes for a second, look at the natural world around you, and meditate on some of these young voices. Okay. Let's see if I can, there we go.
You may have not left bruises on my skin, but you left me with moonless night skies. I look at you and see the passage of time, how little you need in order to grow. I care for you, just as my mother cared for me, but I know someday you will no longer be here. Your bright green aura will soon be a dark brown, just as the dirt you lay in. My mind is a broken dam, with roaring rivers crashing, fighting to find the ocean. I'm not enough even when I give everything up. I'm told to fit the mold and to stop being so bold because there's a standard I need to adhere to and uphold. I'm told to just be fine and to stop whining, but when I start crying, you wonder why, because you were trying. Trying to what? Save me from my mind, save me from the thoughts I've intertwined my self-worth and purpose with. You implanted those unrealistic visions in me. Don't get angry when you see the monster you created with your own wrath and envy. You tell me that my past is made of lies, stitched together with a thread made of the anger I hold against the world, and you tell me those stitches will come unfurled in the coming days. I'm dazed and confused because I don't know what I did to you to make you think I'm not speaking my own truth. You look at my scars and call them a story, but my scars aren't poetic, they're just a part of me. My dignity being taken from me when I was 3 isn't the plot of some epic comeback mission. It's just what caused me to fall into the hands of an addiction, but not an addiction to alcohol or drugs, just an addiction to wishing I had spoken out. I'm not enough even when I surrender my soul to this awful train wreck we like to call humanity, radically changing myself and becoming dramatically obsessed with the thoughts of rebels. It feels like I'm rebelling against the person I'm supposed to be. It's a battle between her and the person people see. It's because of what you have conditioned me to believe. You represent the deadbeat fathers and the tuckered out mothers. You are the loneliness I'm consumed by at night and the overwhelming exhaustion I feel during the day. You are the shadow constantly lingering at the back of our heads while we're lying in bed saying, I know you won't show them who you really are, because if you do, you know you won't get far. You are the society telling me I'm not pretty enough, telling me to stuff my past under the rug. Not all men are rapists, but not enough speak up against those who are, so of course I'm inclined to not give a fuck. I don't know why I can push past that so fast, but I know that I still believe I'm not enough even when I give everything up.
In the mind of the Baron, it seems, exists there a screen of steam, the breathless smog of manufactory that clouds the eye and blackens the throat. It gives the ship its oiled wake, the locomotive its dynamic charge, the printer his parchments. To riposte this captain of industry means we must first understand him. The initial semantics of such a thing are plain and outright. For every honest man and his wage, sown with crop as the Luddite his arms, there stands a skipper and his craft, billowing over the Thames to sate his issue. It would taste a lie, no doubt, upon his tongue to claim his disdain for the work, when it so loyally breaks his bread. And if one forced him even to look to the coals of his service and to see, truly see the muddled green of the sea beneath, would he not then turn his eye from it for the sake of the thirst that bites at his throat? And moreover, will he not look to the stack and all that stand in its blinding haze and celebration? After all, it is that which grants both the seasons and the years, which warms at night his bed and gratifies his labored appetite. It brought no surprise then, when from his lips came the tang of iron, a staining upon the muddled canvas that was his shipman's kerchief. The evening's light, again drowned in synthetic shadow, mirrored on the water. The junks come from upriver. On the banks, schoolchildren traipse the mud, surveying occasionally the crafts in their wakes. In the shipyard, the overseer paced the length of the steel workers, a thick smog streaming from the choking flame of his cigar. Fear not, bold bird, the exhaust is come to mask our fate.
I'm lonely. The hole in my chest is the weight on my shoulders, held back by this overwhelming emptiness. I know that I'm not alone. Followed by loneliness like a ghost, but he's greedy. I'm loved, but I feel lost, trapped, locked in a cage full of jealousy and hate. I can breathe, though I feel I may asphyxiate. These pressures overtake me, drowning in a sea of my own disparity. Will I die here? Suffocated by desperation, a need for their constant connection. But I just watch, give them love when they ask, give them all my time just for an ounce of theirs. I'm a beggar, but they'll never know so much I care. I love them as if they're my family, and I will watch them as they grow old, holding hands in the embrace of death. They're best friends, and I'm just another other.
Breeze has no choice but to gaze into the abyss. And when you peer into the abyss peers back. And when the desert wind stares into the sun, it gets scorched. And when the sun sees what it has done, it will run. And without it, the people on the streets will have no choice but to freeze. When the cold stars see what they have done, they will laugh. Thank you, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe a lot of claps and punching of the air for the youth. That would be great. I'm sure they appreciate it.
That was amazing, MOsley. Thank you. I love that. That was an amazing project, and it came together so well. Congratulations to all of the youth. You should be proud of yourselves for all of the hard work you put in this week. So many applause, so many applause.
Yay, yay, yay.
We did record this session, so we'll make sure that you can access it later. Thank you all for attending, and thank you, MOsley, all of your encouragement and inspiration this week.
Thank you all. Keep doing the good work.
Take care.